Do you remember what our theme is for this month? Yes. Oh, I'm pretty proud. What's our theme for this month?
How God sees us.
Our theme?
Oh.
For this month.
For April.
Yeah, for April. For
How God sees us.
Passover, yes.
Oh. No.
Well, that's the festival that we've gone through. And Easter, that's the festival that we've gone through. But our theme for this month was how God sees us. Remember the first time we learned about God making us in His likeness, right? That means that when God sees you and when you see God, there's something similar about you. Bless you, God. That just like Him, you can be a creator. Just like Him, you can solve problems. Just like Him, you've got what it takes to face any types of problems that you have in your life. Right? And that's why, you remember when we focused a lot on this, that's why He didn't give us a guide. That's why He didn't give us instructions, because He trusted that within us, we already have all of those abilities. From Adam all the way up until Moses, He didn't give us any instructions, because He knew He could do it. The only problem was us. We didn't believe that we could do it. Then we learned about Moses. And Moses was a perfect example of this. Moses, when he was told that he could do something, what did he say?
Yes.
He said yes.
I just said talking about no. I was like, what?
No, it's certain. Moses, build a boat. Never built one before. Never sailed. Yes, I can do it. He trusted it. Right? That's a really good example. Noah didn't question. All he wanted to know is, okay, I must build a boat. How big? Right? How big? What's the size? What's the shape? What must I use? I've never done this before. Please give me some instruction. And then he did it. Him and his sons and their wives. Right? But Moses was different. When God told him go, what did he say? He made excuses. Because he didn't know that God had already prepared him for the job that he was about to do. He was already fighting for other people. When he killed the Egyptian, he tried to save the Hebrew. When he was fighting the shepherds at the well, trying to help Zipporah and sisters, he was trying to help them. That's what it was like, right? Moses knew the Egyptians. That's why he grew up there. And no one else. Do you think Pharaoh would have just spoken to anybody that came from there? One of the Hebrews? No. But he knows this guy. So God had already prepared him through all of the bad things that he had gone through. But Moses didn't believe that. Moses always just tried to say, well, no, what will I tell them? Who will speak for me? I don't speak well. I can't go. Even after you've given me all of these powers, I still can't do it. But then God gave him everything he needed. Right? And He showed us, like we've learned right at the beginning, that God sees us as capable. He can do things. You need to trust yourself. Isn't that what I always tell you, boy? Trust yourself. Believe me, it is in there. You'll even surprise yourself. Just trust yourself. Then we learned about Jesus. Well, as you guys would remember it, Joey, Joseph, and Job. Right? Did you like that one? It made it quite easy. So, we heard in the Moses story about story of delivering us from slavery, and with Jesus' story, the story of delivering us from sin and the penalty, the punishment that we're supposed to get from sin. Today, we're going to start a series on the 10 Commandments. You remember the perfect 10?
The perfect 10.
The perfect 10, yes. So today we're going to see a story about, first, how God values our freedom. So our word for today comes from Exodus 20, verses 1 and 2. Would you please read this for us out loud?
I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me.
This is the first commandment. Or like the Jews say, it's the first saying. The very first thing that He tells us to do, the first instructions He gives us, is this. He gives us a reminder. And what does He remind us of in this case? What does He remind us of?
No other gods before Him.
Well, that's the last part. That's the second. Right in the beginning.
I am the Lord.
What does He say there? Right in the beginning. What is He reminding us of? I am the Lord.
Am the Lord.
Which Lord?
I'm your Lord.
Yes. The one who did what?
Who brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. and out of the house of bondage. Bondage is slavery. Bondage means that you owe people work. You're not in control. Right? You are bound to them. They have shackles on you. They control what happens to you. Do you remember what was happening to the Israelites in Egypt? Can you tell me one example?
Excuse me?
What was happening to those Israelites in Egypt?
They were being enslaved.
They were being enslaved. What type of work were they made to do?
Build.
Build. With straw and mud, make bricks for Pharaoh's buildings. Right? When they got too many, what did Pharaoh do?
Excuse me?
When there were too many of them.
He burnt them.
He burnt?
He killed them.
He killed who?
Excuse me?
He killed who?
The slaves.
Not all of them. Which ones did he kill?
The weak ones.
Oh.
Can I?
Yes.
Firstborn.
The firstborn. That's what he did, but he didn't just stop there. He said, I'm going to kill all children, all boys that are born for this period, which he didn't specify. So if I have the power to kill your children, don't I have power over you? And what could the Israelites do about it?
Nothing.
They were being oppressed. They were being stood on. The example I made for you is that with Jesus, when Herod gave the order to kill all the firstborn, all the infants, he told them specifically, if you find a boy that's 2 years or under, kill it. Okay? Because he was not sure when the child was born, but he just knew that the child is still small. So they were killing everyone from 2 years under. In Moses' time, we don't have such an instruction. He says kill them because what was he trying to do? He was trying to prevent them from having too many boys and growing up and joining their enemies and defeating them. Okay? We don't know how old it is. All we know is that we have Aaron, who's Moses' older brother. We have Moses. And then one of the only other boys that we hear about in that story is Joshua, who's much younger than them. He's about 40-something when they enter the promised land. So he might have been born shortly. Either during the plague shortly before that or during the time that they were out. So there was a long time when these boys were being destroyed to make sure that an entire generation of young men just disappeared. That is the type of slavery they were talking about. That is the house of bondage, and that is the land of Egypt. Do you think they were free there? No. Not at all. So this is the first thing that God says. You could start right in the beginning and just say, I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Which is the way it's sometimes taught to us. So when Christians are being taught this, they taught the first commandment like this. Do you see that? The one that's first there? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the one we're taught. Because this, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, that is something that was specific to those Jewish people. The ones that were taken out of Egypt. Right? But for the Greek people, they weren't the kids of Jacob. They were Christians that came on later. So some of them, when they read this, they left out that portion because that didn't apply to them. But then much later, after Jesus died, Apostle Paul told us that we are also sons of Abraham. Not by blood, but because we are baptized, because we are children of God, we are also sons of Abraham. So Abraham is our great-grandfather, Isaac is our grandfather, and then Jacob is our grandfather. Just the same as everyone else. We've been adopted into that family. So this story is a story about us as well. It's not just for Jewish people. It's not just for Israelites. Paul has confirmed that. I don't agree with him on much. But he's right about that. And he's going to make sure that we are part of that same nation that God's talking about here. So God reminds them right in the beginning that listen, I'm your God, but I'm the one that brought you out of slavery, out of the house of bondage. That's the first thing he tells you. Then I want you just to watch this thing. This is one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite movies.
Started drinking warm water to help with my memory. My friends laughed at me. But when they saw how much I'd improved, they started doing it themselves. You've probably heard that as you get older, your memory will never be the same. So early. Only some things that do. What? I'm on YouTube 3 minutes. I'm in soft
anyone remember this movie?
What is this?
This is Les Miserables.
No.
This is the man that was a thief and he tried to steal from the bishop. Right?
Yes. So just a bit of a backstory. There's a man named Jean Valjean. He's a thief. He's a thief and he stole a loaf of bread because he was very, very poor. His sister's child was starving. So, in those days, a bakery used to have a glass window in front of it that would show you the bread that they have inside. So he went in and he stole some bread and they caught him. He didn't even get to take that bread and give it to this child. We don't know what happened to this child. We can assume that the child starved. And then he went to jail. And when he was in jail, he then tried to escape. And he got 19 years in a slave camp. So, unlike today where you go to jail, you have a nice time, you sit, you watch TV, you just stay there and you serve your time. Back then the people weren't like that. They said, we shouldn't pay for you to stay nicely if you're the person that done wrong. That makes sense, right? So what you had to do, you had to work in order to earn your keep. And you had to work in bondage like a slave. You had to work for free because you're in jail, but you are working so that they can give you a place to stay, so that they can give you food to eat, so that they can keep you safe. So for 19 years he worked in what you call the shipyard, which is when you're building ships. They were not getting paid, but the people that were running that particular jail, they were getting paid. And then finally he's free. And he moves from the countryside, but he's got this little letter. That letter reminds you of the sin that you committed. That's a letter, it's called a letter of parole. It says that you are a dangerous man. Every single month you need to come to a police station and tell them what you've been up to. And you're going to be like that for the rest of your life. Do you think you can get a job if you show people that letter? Do you think people will allow you to stay in their house when you have a letter from the government saying that you're a dangerous man? Do you think that you will allow you anywhere close to children? No. Because that was a mark on him. But then he runs from place to place and eventually he gets to this church. And he's sleeping outside in the graveyard. And the bishop sees that there's a man out there sleeping. And this is what he does.
And the night is cold out here. Our lives are very humble. What we have to share. There is wine here to revive you. There is bread to make you strong. There's a bed to rest till morn.
Do you see what he looks like? What does he look like?
Who?
The man.
Is this
One was outside.
Oh no.
Not the church guy, the other one. What does he look like?
I don't know. It's like
Can you see?
no, not really.
Oh, is this not bright enough?
He looks like Wolverine.
Yes, it is the Wolverine.
Who plays as Wolverine?
Yes, as well.
Looks cold. He looks like he hasn't had a bath in a long time. He looks dirty and he looks like a slave.
Oh, it's that light coming in from the side there. That seems to be the brightest that can go. Let's adjust some of it over here. You see now? Better. Let's just start there.
Softly you are weary. Coming softly you are weary.
Did you see what he said there?
Excuse me?
Are you listening to what he's saying? What did he say?
Come inside because you're weary.
He didn't say come inside.
Then he said,
And the night softly you are. Coming softly you
oh,
are
come in,
weary.
sir.
Come in, sir.
Oh, for you.
Does that look like a sir to you?
No.
He's outside. He's in the cold. He's wearing raggedy clothes, the same clothes that he wore months ago since he's left jail. And this guy, who's dressed in almost pure white, calls him sir. He can see that this is a human being and he respects him for that. Do you see what he says? Sometimes I also used to think the same. He said, come inside. But he says, come in, sir. He says, entre, monsieur. Come in, sir.
And the night is cold out here. Our lives are very humble. What we have to share. There is wine here to revive you. There is bread to make you strong.
What's he talking about there?
Jesus.
He's saying there's wine here to revive you. Wine, revive, comes from the word vivos. Vivos is life. In Latin, Spanish, Portuguese, and all of those countries. So revive means I'll give you life again. So the wine in here will give you life again, give you new life. And there's bread to make you strong. He's talking about bread and wine.
There's a bed to rest till morning. Rest from pain and rest from wrong.
Do you think he's eaten recently?
Bless the food we eat today. Bless our dear sister and our honored guest.
There he goes again. What does he call him?
Honored guest.
Not just any guest. There's a man from the street, poor, who's done something wrong. He's clearly done something wrong. And he says he's my honored guest. He's respectful. What is he doing? Hmm? What's he doing now? He's eating. Do you think he believed that he was a sir? Do you think he believed that he was a sir?
Who?
Jean Valjean.
No.
Jean Valjean is the slave guy. Okay? He's Jean Valjean, and because he's a prisoner, he's got a number. It's 246 or what. That's the number that he must have forever. It's like his ID number. And he tells you that you're a prisoner. They give you that because they don't want you to have a name, because a person has a name. But a thing has a number.
That's not a thing.
Well, if you're a slave, you're a thing.
He's a person.
We know that. But that's not the way they see it. They see him as a thing. That's why they give him a number. Because if you give someone a name, they have an individuality, they have an identity. They become someone. Right? So we only give names to places that are important, maybe to our pets, but you don't give the camera a name. What's the camera's name?
Camera.
It's a camera.
I mean, like.
But then how do we know this camera against Uncle Hector's camera? Every camera would have a number. And our car versus another car that's exactly the same, it's got a registration number.
I named it.
Yeah? You gave it a name, but it's got a license disc, right? Right? It's just a number. This one, there's this piano, there are other pianos.